Ah. Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to some Call of Cthulhu. This is a... I lost my little note. Role-playing survival horror. Developed by Cyanide and published by Focus Home Interactive. It's supposed to take place in 1924 Boston, I believe. Dealing with the Lovecraftian eldritch horrors. And so if I get all of this straightened out, there we go. Yeah? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty sure I already went through the settings. New game. Yep, Boston, 1924. Edward Pierce, veteran of the First World War, drowns his memories in liquor and sleeping pills. He is now a private detective who has trouble finding a case able to lift him from his torpor. Pierce must find a new case quickly or risk losing his license. Chapter 1, Pierce Investigations Agency, Boston. Enter Madness. If I am mad, it is mercy. May the gods pity the man who, in his callousness, can remain sane to the hideous end. H.P. Lovecraft. It's just chum. To move, use WSAD. I'm hoping this one won't give me motion sickness like Layers of Fear did. I normally don't have issues with disable preview with first-person shooter games or first-person games, but Layers of Fear for some reason just tears me up. Crouch, toggle, control. Okay. Aha. It is locked. Okay. Apply those settings. Yes. See if that's any better. This is over here. You must light up some items in order to interact with them. Counter darkness. Okay. Uh-huh. Oh. Okay. So I have to light that up before I can interact with it. Nice. Bolt cutters. Okay. There's a gate over there and there's a gate over here. Let's try this one.
In my wake, hold along. Fate inescapably draws you on.
Okay, both gates lead to the same place. I'm curious if that was audible or if it was in my head. Ugh.
What a putrid offering.
Are you talking about me or all of the guts? Ugh.
Don't fight. You have been chosen.
To run, I have to hold down the up arrow? That doesn't make any sense. That's terrible controls. Run is left shift. Go me. That makes sense.
Behold. Everything has already been written. But perhaps you will attempt to change your destiny.
I hate whiskey.
There was a pop-up there on the right. What was that? The doctor can well repeat to me that I no longer need my remedy to keep my memories at bay, but I know that if I stop, the memories will return. One of those mornings, I probably won't wake up. Despite the treatment, I again hear voices in my dreams, but they are different, unknown. They seem to surface from unfathomable and ancient depths. What nameless creature is calling me? 20th October, 1924. Okay. Oh.
I'm listening.
Are you Edward Pierce, private investigator contracted by the Wentworth Detective Agency?
That's correct.
Hello, Mr. Pierce. I'm Lucy Sherifield, in charge of investigators over at Wentworth. I'm calling because of a problem with your file. A fire has destroyed some of our documents.
Is that right?
I'm so very sorry, but I have to collect your personal information yet again.
Okay. Allocate your character points. Each character point allows you to improve the score of a skill. Eloquence represents your ability to influence those you talk to by your power of speech. Improving this skill increases your chances of convincing or manipulating during discussions. Spot hidden represents your ability to find hidden objects. Improving this skill increases your chances of finding hidden objects. An undiscovered object will not appear in-game. Okay, so if you don't have this, there's items that just won't show up. Investigation represents your investigating talents. Improving this skill increases your chances of understanding past events by analyzing a crime scene or an object, and of picking locks. Strength represents your ability to call on your physical power. Improving this skill increases your chances of forcing doors or mechanisms or using violence, physical or verbal, during interactive discussions. Medicine represents your medical knowledge. Improving this skill increases your chances of determining the dosage of a drug, of making a diagnosis, or of expressing your understanding of a medical problem. Psychology represents your knowledge of human behavior. Improving this skill increases your chance of understanding the motivations of a person based on his or her behavior or on the analysis of objects. Interesting. And occultism. Occultism represents your knowledge of the occult sciences. Improving this skill increases your chance of determining the use and origin of occult artifacts and of expressing your knowledge of the truth, or of the myth. Okay. We have how many points? Oh, 8. Yeah, 8 CP available. We could get a point in occultism for 4. This only needs 2, 4, 2, 6, 6, 4. These ones are already decent. 3 of 5. I'm thinking a point there. Oh, we could get 2 in occultism if we wanted. But we only need 2 here and 2 here. Okay, that looks good to me. Yes.
Thank you for this information, Mr. Pierce. Our files will soon be up to date. And on a related matter, may I raise a sensitive question?
What's wrong?
As you know, we wish to closely monitor the progress of our contractors. And it would seem you've been accepting fewer new cases.
Work is scarce.
Mr. Pierce, you know as well as I do, there's never been more investigative work than now.
But are those cases worth it?
They're worth not losing your license. Show yourself worthy of the Wentworth Detective Agency, and we might keep you on the payroll. Mr. Pierce, you still...
I'm coming.
Sir, I came here on the advice of a person whom I hold in high esteem, and I must say that I expected anything but a drunkard's lair.
You're free to leave anytime, sir.
Do you know to whom you speak?
Stephen Webster, industrialist and art collector. All of Boston knows you.
Tell me, Mr. Pierce, are you capable of handling a new case, or are you simply a deadbeat inebriate?
If you come to me, it means you're desperate.
Nobody believes me. They take me for an old fool. Sarah, my little girl, she is dead. Even you must know of her. She was Sarah Hawkins.
The painter? Yes. Everyone knows her work.
The police accuse her of killing her family. They all died in a fire. Sarah, her husband, and Simon, my grandson.
I can't do anything for a woman who is already dead.
Find out the truth. They say she was mad, but I know that's a lie. She would never have done such a thing.
But if you have no proof...
I've brought all that I have. Look. I want you to look carefully at this painting. Tell me all the assumptions that come to mind.
What am I supposed to find?
Tell me if this is the work of madness. Or if, on the contrary, you manage to detect some logic, a rationality to follow so that I may understand it.
Is that all you want from me?
Yes, please.
All right. I'll look at your picture. That's all you've got? The painting?
I placed a file on your desk. It contains everything I have on the affair.
Okay. The doctor can well repeat to me that I no longer need... Oh, no, we already read that one. Despite treatment, I hear voices and dreams, but they are different, unknown. A strange picture. Okay. A strange picture painted by Sarah Hawkins a short while before her tragic death was sent to her father just after the artist died. He is convinced that she is the sender. He brought me the painting so that I could examine it. Stephen Webster, the wealthy industrialist, came to my office. He wants me to reopen the Sarah Hawkins case named after his daughter, who died in a fire alongside her entire family. I must examine the documents he compiled in order to know more about the case. Examine the painting, examine the Hawkins file. Okay. Simple enough. Oh, gotta hold it.
What's this symbol on the man's chest? It's as if Sarah Hawkins breathed a message into it.
Where did... Okay, that's my stuff. Aha! My private detective agency contracted to the Wentworth Detective Agency. After the Great War, I decided to set up in Boston, where there was no lack of work for guys like me. One small-time case follows the other: adultery, settled scores, disappearances that are not actually disappearances. The old office couch is less comfortable than a real bed, and I should probably get rid of these empty bottles, but this place is mine for the moment. Art of Sarah Hawkins, intuitive and visionary artist for some, overpriced imposter for others, Sarah Hawkins leaves nobody indifferent. This mysterious and reserved painter offers strange images with violent colors and wild strokes to the world. If her paintings are testimony to her vision of the world, then the world of Sarah Hawkins is a portal open to other dimensions. Extract from the notebook of Edward Pierce, private detective. Okay. Lighter, my old lighter that I engraved in the memory of the 77th Infantry Division and the men of the Lost Battalion who fell. Why does this still have a chingy lid? Oh, sanity. Nightmares. Edward Pierce is a veteran of the First World War where he took part in the Meuse-Argonne offensive. He is one of the few survivors of the Lost Battalion, American units that suffered heavy losses from enemy and allied artillery fire. Forced to hold their position for several days surrounded by the bodies of their fallen comrades, without food or medical supplies, the soldiers were considered as lost by their fellow countrymen. Pierce is traumatized by these events. He consumes sleeping pills and liquor to ward off the nightmares that haunt him. Confident in your abilities and your Cartesian mind, you conduct your investigation by sticking to the facts, your convictions, and your perception of reality. Your conclusions are logical and reliable. Okay. So, I'm guessing this will deteriorate as we go along. Similar to Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem.
A warehouse on Darkwater. Some sketches of the Hawkins family. Rather thin.
A shipping label. Some of it is unreadable, but I can make out part of the address, Warehouse 36, Darkwater. The police report, it says that their fire started in the dining room and claimed the whole family. The police decided on a domestic accident, but they nevertheless insisted on Sarah Hawkins' mental frailty. Why? A press cutting. An article written about the marriage of Sarah and Charles Hawkins, a businessman from the island of Darkwater. They live a recluse life there, their only son, Simon. Oh, hey. We can move it around.
So, Mr. Pierce, what do you make of these elements?
Okay. What do I make of these elements? You shouldn't take this painting lightly. I read about her mental fragility in the police report. Something's not right with this story. Find out about Warehouse 36. Where did Sarah Hawkins live? Let's inquire about Warehouse 36.
The sender's label mentions Warehouse 36.
That's right. It came with Sarah's last painting.
And you think your daughter could have been the sender?
That is what you must find out. Go to Darkwater. Find Warehouse 36.
Okay, so that's all the information I need. Unlocked answer. You
The
shouldn't.
meaning could be exactly as it appears. I think your daughter is sending you a message.
That's what I believe, too. It was 3 months ago that I received the call from the police telling me of my daughter's death. And yet a short while after, this painting was delivered to my home. The painting is linked to this case, can't you see? You must find the meaning behind all this.
Okay, so some of these are going to be locked dependent upon my skills.
Her husband was a big deal on the island. But the police are sticking to the accident theory. Though they mentioned Sarah's mental state was fragile. I believe you are right, sir. This case is not as simple as it appears.
I am aware of that. I believe there is more to this case than just an accident.
You must tell me if what the police suggest about the mental state of your daughter is true.
No. Sarah had visions. Everyone knew that. She never would have hurt a fly. She only thought she saw things.
Saw things? What do you mean by that?
I never knew what she meant by that. My daughter was an enigmatic figure, Mr. Pierce. You must find out the truth about her life and death.
Darkwater. Never heard of the place. Where is that?
It's a small, remote island off the coast of Boston. Sarah lived there with her son and her husband.
I suppose you want to ship me off there.
Darkwater holds the secret regarding my daughter, Mr. Pierce. You must uncover it.
I believe that's all the information I need.
I think I'm beginning to understand.
I'm willing to do anything for my daughter to recover her honor.
Quiet down. I'm on your side. Let's sum things up. An artist dies with her family in a house fire. Your only clue is a sort of promontory painting sent from Darkwater right before her death.
Correct. And the rumors about her supposed folly.
Which you don't totally deny.
Find that warehouse. Find out the truth regarding Sarah Hawkins' death. You will be handsomely compensated.
All right. I'll take the case. I'll go to Darkwater and look into the death of your daughter.
Thank you, Mr. Pierce. I didn't expect any less coming from a man in your situation.
Something's queer. But it's not like I have a choice. Darkwater. I think I've got a book on the North Atlantic. I'll no doubt find some information on this island in there.
Okay, we got a new diary entry. What was it? All that remains is to leave for Darkwater. I'll certainly find something on Darkwater in my bookcase. Leave for Darkwater, find out about Darkwater. A dense work aimed at the learning of medicine, Volume 1. A dense work aimed at interns and young practitioners. This first volume lists all illnesses known in the civilized world. It details the symptoms and suitable treatments. Okay. Medicine progression. Oh. Is it like a skill book? Age 63, occupation businessman, Stephen Webster. A wealthy businessman, well respected in the Boston area, Stephen Webster came to see me in order that I investigate the death of his only daughter, Sarah Hawkins. The man accepts neither refusals nor inconvenient truths. He is ready to do anything to prove that his daughter was not mad. Charles Hawkins, age 41, occupation ship owner. Charles Hawkins was a local celebrity on Darkwater, the heir of a ship owner family. He used to travel a lot. He met Sarah Hawkins during a trip in Paris. They fell in love, got married, and Hawkins took her to the remote island of Darkwater. They had a child named Simon and lived a very secretive life. Sarah Hawkins, age 33, occupation painter. Sarah Hawkins, a painter known for her tortured artistic universe, she was worshipped for the strangeness of her work and the rarity of her public appearances. I seem to remember that she once said, "I paint what my dreams whisper to me." Her marriage to Charles Hawkins years ago surprised her high society columnist. A wealthy Boston heiress known for her party-going chooses to follow her new husband and live as a recluse on the island of Darkwater. She disappeared from the front pages of newspapers, and nobody heard any more about her. Even her death in a fire remained a secret. Only her father, Stephen Webster, Only her father, Stephen Webster, continues to seek the truth. Yeah, they messed that up. Only her father, Stephen Webster, continues to seek the truth. Simon Hawkins, age 11, occupation schoolboy, only son of Sarah and Charles Hawkins. He died in the fire that claimed his whole family. We already checked out the painting, and this is the same as what we had. Okay.
The Wentworth Agency doesn't attract top-notch cases. I used to be an avid reader.
Okay. No, we're fixing to leave.
A good old story of blackmail in a speakeasy.
Case solved. The bar owner who hired me didn't like the way I closed this case. But when you're already outside the law, there's not a lot one can do against a private detective who's got proof against you.
Darkwater is off the coast of Boston, but I've never heard of it. According to this book, it was often mentioned during whale hunting times at the end of the 19th century, but it seems to have been shunned since then.
Atlas of Atlantic Islands. Darkwater Island has been inhabited since the 14th century and is still rich with the many memories left by its lost tribes. But don't let the romanticism of these moving evidences of such naive and primitive beliefs fool you into forgetting how violent their gods were. A gigantic creature still ornates the walls of long-abandoned caves. Was it a sea or a dream god? No one knows, but today's inhabitants, the sons and daughters of the proud whale hunters, still remember the mysterious and tumultuous story of their small land off the coast of Massachusetts.
All I have to do is go to the port. I just hope that I can find a boat able to take me to Darkwater. Natural sciences, linguistics, archaeology.
Okay. Oh, here's another one.
Married woman runs off with her girlfriend. The husband couldn't understand it.
Case closed. The husband never understood that his wife had left him. He kept on calling me weeks after the investigation had been closed. Can't get my hat. Oh. How do I put that away? How do I put it away? Oh, okay. Okay. It's the mouse button. It's the clickable one. Achievement unlocked: the Sarah Hawkins case. Chapter 2, Darkwater Port. Pierce took the Hawkins case. The cursed artist is accused of having caused the fire that killed her and her family. As the only clue, she left her father a disturbing painting. On the shipping label and address, a warehouse set on the docks of the island of Darkwater. The place seems to be the starting point for Pierce's investigation.
Almost there. Stay on board. There's guys coming to unload. Welcome to Darkwater Island, Mr. Pierce.
Why, thank you, Captain Fitzroy.
So, what wind brought you?
Does the Hawkins case mean anything to you?
A sad story that we would all prefer to forget. Charles Hawkins may have been a landlubber, but he was a good man.
And his wife, Sarah Hawkins.
A nice young woman, and a great painter. What a tragedy. You know what? Go have a drink at the Stranded Whale. What you need is a good pick-me-up. Mitchell may not be very welcoming, but his bar holds a surprise for you. As for me, you'll find me at the Harbor Master's office. If it's the Hawkins family that brings you here, I have a pile of documents that should interest you.
Understood. I'm going for a look around the docks.
Okay, talk to Fitzroy. Talk to Bradley and go to the bar. On the Darkwater docks, 25th of October, 1924. On the approaches to Darkwater, I saw thick clouds masking the sky. They were so low, they seemed intent on impaling themselves on the sharp reefs that circle the island. Fitzroy, the captain of the only tub that manages to float to the mainland, offered to help me. He may have documents that belong to Charles Hawkins. Fitzroy advised me to visit the port's bar. He mentioned a little pick-me-up. I suppose I could get the lay of the land at the same time. Fishermen have gathered around the carcass of a killer whale. I could have a look and see what the local cops have got to tell me. Captain Fitzroy offered to share with me what he has found on the Hawkins in the archives of the Harbor Master's office. Oh, I have a point available. Okay. I want them all. I don't know which one I should be focusing on first. The medicine and occult skills can only be improved by objects discovered in the environment. Oh, okay. So that's why I didn't get a point. So perhaps it would have been better to dump all of my beginning points into occultism and medicine. Okay. We're gonna save the point for now because we need 6 to get another level anyways. Island of Darkwater. It would seem that the world has forgotten the very existence of this isolated rock off the coast of Boston. It is a small, inhospitable island whose coastline is made up of steep cliffs and sharp reefs, and with only one outlet to the sea. It is mainly inhabited by the descendants of whalers who set up a supply post there in the 1800s. It was hit severely by the collapse of this activity. I think that the only venture on the island that is still profitable is its medical institute. Darkwater Port. At the entrance to the port of Darkwater, one still passes in front of the shell of the Scylla, the last whaling ship to have brought back a catch. Sailors wander the docks looking for some small job for the day. A gang of bootleggers has set itself up there and is gnawing away at the territory of Captain Fitzroy, the last sailor to own a boat capable of making the round trip between the island and mainland. Here, the golden age of whale hunting is but a distant memory. Okay, these are count for knowledge. Okay. So let us go check out this situation.
Always do their work. Hey, Sullivan, can't you go any faster?
You see how old this thing is. If you force it too much, we'll break everything.
You can't do that.
But it's only a fish.
A fish? You've got no idea. Don't badmouth what you don't know, or you'll pay for it for sure.
Okay, that's enough. Step back and let us do our job.
That's no way to treat an omen.
Oh yeah? He's gonna get us into trouble. You can't understand. You're not sailors.
The same goes for you, sir. Move along.
You're totally out of your depth. These sailors get upset over nothing. Ask about Warehouse 36.
I'm looking for this address. Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
Ah. And so who are you?
I didn't introduce myself. Edward Pierce, private detective.
In any case, it's not very important. I can't answer that.
You can't? Or you don't want to?
Oh, no. I'm not getting into those games, me. Now, please, allow me to do my job.
You can't understand. You're not sailors.
Okay.
It's a sign. There's something coming.
The blood is just beginning to coagulate. It died a short time ago. Only a specialist would know what killed it.
That's no way to treat an omen.
Oh, yeah. He's gonna get us
Okay.
in trouble.
Let us go to the bar.
Hey, be careful. Let's get him another drink. He's dry.
In my bar, we don't serve troublemakers.
I'm sorry, you're overdoing it. The guy didn't show respect. It wasn't me who went looking for it.
You saw what happened. He's the troublemaker.
Oh, you're a true mainlander. A real princess. You strut around with your la-di-da ways, and then, as soon as the pressure arises, you start squealing. You don't have what it takes to drink my whiskey. You've got to earn it.
I'm here for information, not for a fight.
I prefer it that way. Speak then. I reserve the right to answer or not.
Let's see. No prohibition around here. I'm looking for Warehouse 36. Order a drink. Find out about Darkwater. Sarah Hawkins. Why the Stranded Whale?
The Stranded Whale. I guess this bar has been here a long time.
What can I tell you? I'm a nostalgic sort of guy. The name, it reminds us of the golden age of Darkwater, when our whalers left for long months and came back sweating and stinking of the oil and flesh of the whales they'd been hunting.
It was a tough time, all the same.
Ah, but steeped in glory. We've never known such wealth since then.
What can you tell me about her?
We all knew she was famous on the mainland for her paintings. Never understood why. Then, I don't want to speak ill of the dead.
It's not speaking ill if it's true. It's true that they were strange. It's not speaking ill if it's
Her
true.
vision. Was it so terrible?
Way I see it, the truth is really a question of point of view.
What do you mean by that?
Do you still trust the truth after a bottle of whiskey?
It is true they were strange.
Her style made her famous. How would you describe it? Tortured?
Yeah, well, it wasn't normal. I mean, for a young woman with a child and all that. We saw them in the papers and we said to ourselves, who can paint such things? Is that how she sees the world?
So they made you feel uncomfortable.
You need to see them for yourself. Make up your own mind.
I've got what I need.
Anything else?
I didn't expect to find alcohol on this island. What's the source of this miracle?
You mean who?
Our source of supply wouldn't like me to betray them to the first comer.
I'll tell nobody.
She'd know it anyway. Anything else?
She'd know it anyway. I'm looking for Warehouse 36.
Do you know where this place is? Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
The Hawkins warehouse. I see, yeah. If I were you, I wouldn't hang around there.
Why not?
First off, there are rumors. Sailors from around here say you can hear noises coming from the warehouse at night. Screams, that sort of thing.
Screams?
And that's not all. There's the fate of its owners and all the superstitions that go with it. But I'll say no more. Anything else?
I do believe that is all.
That'll be all for now.
Okay, can we talk to these gentlemen?
You like our song?
We're true sirens. We may not be pros, but we give it all we've got.
That's true. It's a reminder of the time when we were still fishing for whales off Darkwater Island.
What is this song?
I've never heard this song before.
Only people from here know it. It tells the story of the miraculous catch.
It's a local legend?
Watch what you say, young man.
That catch saved our island.
Ah. Where's the proof?
We're the proof.
Without it, the whole of Darkwater would have died of hunger in 1847.
It's true. Everything happened just as it says in the newspaper report.
What report?
The one that's framed right behind you. Our grandparents tasted its flesh.
And it was delicious.
The end of whaling?
What brought whaling to an end?
The whales, of course.
They all disappeared.
You exhausted the stocks.
You could say that, yes. There were fewer and fewer of them.
Until the last, the biggest.
The one of the miraculous catch.
Exactly.
I bid you farewell, gentlemen.
Good night, stranger.
So long.
Aha.
The miraculous catch. Apparently, the most significant event of the last 80 years.
Article on the miraculous catch. The Chanty, 21st May 1847, miraculous catch. The Scylla returns to port to save Darkwater from famine. We had given up hope. The crew of the Scylla, or what remains of it, returned to Darkwater port late on Tuesday afternoon. The locals immediately rushed to the docks to welcome the last whaling ship on the island. People were amazed at the sight of the unbelievable catch the brave vessel had on board. Of the size that went beyond that of the formidable toothed whales, the Cetacean that is already being called miraculous catch covered the whole deck, and parts of it were hanging over the side of the ship. The surviving sailors told a frightening account of their perilous catch, but also of its meat unmatched in its quality and plentiful nutritious benefits. There is no doubt that the immense size of this whale will allow numerous inhabitants of Darkwater to feed themselves, bringing an end to the famine from which part of the island was suffering. Warehouse for rent. Mr. Marks is putting his warehouse up for rent from June for fishing, workshop, or storage activities. You can contact him via your favorite newspaper or visit him on the docks. Special evening at the Stranded Whale. To celebrate the return of our brave whalers, all of the staff of the Stranded Whale invites you to an exceptional and free tasting event. Come with your family or with friends to taste the miraculous catch. Each person will leave with a bottle of oil, so don't hesitate. Okay. Hello, sir.
Nightmares. Can hear things and voices whispering. Will follow its reader and appear at various locations, gifted with its own consciousness, until it finds a new reader.
All right, Algernon.
Ah, that's it. Maybe we should let him take it. No. No, the risks are too high. It's a book, after all. Pure knowledge.
What book are you talking about, Algernon?
Nightmares. Can hear things and voices whispering. Will follow its reader and appear at various locations, gifted with its own consciousness, until it finds a new reader.
Interesting. Hello, madam.
What you looking at, stranger?
She can certainly put them away. Nothing at all. What is a woman like you doing in a place like this?
The clientele is predominantly male.
Tell me something I don't know.
I meant nothing by it. I'm just wondering what a woman like you is doing in this flea trap.
And I'm wondering what could be going through the head of the chump who goes to disturb her. Let me drink, stranger.
Wow, she's friendly. Locked. And you, gentlemen?
Then he said, "You have no right to treat us like this."
And the doctor, what did he say?
He laughed.
My God.
You said it.
Asylums are always fun. Okay. Oh, what is this?
Charles Hawkins was a heavy drinker. And a debtor. Interesting.
We need to talk to Fitzroy, who was going to be up here in the shipmaster's office.
I've brought out the Charles Hawkins cargo manifests. They're on the table next to you. But in truth, you're likely to be disappointed. When you're done, come join me on the deck.
Okay. What was this?
A Scylla. It finished up beached at the entrance to the harbor. A souvenir from a more prosperous era. I guess this blackboard hasn't been wiped for more than 70 years. Fishing equipment. Could do with some rust remover. Broken. This place seems half abandoned. I wonder what Captain Fitzroy has got to say about this woman, Cat.
Threatening letter. Captain, the terms of our agreement are clear. Keep your men under control. You cannot afford to provoke us. No need to answer this message. Just make sure your payment to the carrier. Just make your payment to the carrier. Cat. Wonder if that's the woman in the bar. I wonder if Fitzroy has a problem with me just wandering around snooping through all this stuff. The Learning of Medicine Volume 2. The second volume teaches ethics and good practice to medical staff. Wonderful. So that puts us at 24%. I think I should probably dump points into Spot Hidden, because that's probably how I'm going to find all of the goodies for occultism and medicine. Oh, yes. Just poking through your stuff, sir. No cause for alarm.
This man and Fitzroy could be twins.
In the photograph, a man who looks like Captain Fitzroy is posing on the bridge of a ship. He has a wooden leg.
What a macabre souvenir.
There's the wooden leg. Okay. I'm done rifling through your stuff, sir. Where am I? Oh yeah, it looks like I am. Oh yeah, there was the door over here. Oh. Just a restroom.
These manifests are signed by Charles Hawkins. But that's all I'll get from them.
Manifests, only a few dates are still legible: 1890, 1907, and a partial date. The rest of the document is blacked out. Who would want this information to be hidden? Whoa, he just disappeared. Oh, there he is. Back behind me. Yeah.
From here, I see everything that goes on in the harbor. The hard-working lives of my sailors, the fights at the stranded whale. Even the antics of these wharf rats don't escape me.
It's you who lays down the law around here.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I'm just the last serving captain on Darkwater. Tell me what I can do to help you.
Let's see. Your documents are unreadable. Talking about Darkwater, ask him about Warehouse 36.
Your manifests have been blacked out. They're totally unreadable.
Yeah, I saw that. I've got no idea who did it or why. I don't remember having countersigned anything special enough for someone to hide it.
And why obliterate the dates, as well as the goods stored in the warehouse?
You mean that the dates have some meaning?
What did Charles Hawkins really do for a living? I thought that fishing stopped in 1847. You tell me. I thought that fishing had stopped in 1847.
I'm surprised Charles Hawkins had goods to store, knowing that whaling stopped in 1847.
I see that you're interested in the history of our island. Indeed, maritime activities ceased altogether at the end of the last century. I imagine that the Hawkins family had other types of contracts.
But you don't know with whom?
No, it was none of my business.
This photograph looks strangely like you.
I was looking at your photograph. One of the man in front of the boat.
Ah, yes, I can see the one you're talking about.
Interesting resemblance. I thought it was you, but with a wooden leg.
And for good reason. That's my father in the photograph.
Your father?
John Fitzroy, captain of the Scylla. His wooden leg is here. You can go and see it if you're interested.
I find it odd how casual and okay he is with me rifling through his shit. I saw the killer whale on the wharf.
I'm just back from the wharves. The dead killer whale is unsettling the sailors.
Ah, yes. Us men of the sea are superstitious folk.
What would have killed it? Why are they putting it back into the sea? What would have killed it?
Killer whales don't have many known predators.
That's true. And normally, they're not found around here. But, you're gonna take me for a fool.
Give it a try.
Have you heard about the depths? Trenches that plunge into the earth and that shelter creatures unlike any other.
You're talking about mythology.
Ha! Indeed, you're right.
Why are they putting it back into the sea?
The police took the decision to put the killer whale back into the sea.
You've got to understand them. They didn't know what to do with it.
I think that was a mistake. Who says that whatever caused those wounds is no longer in these waters?
You think we should have kept it?
To look into the real cause of its death, at least.
What is this miraculous catch?
The miraculous catch. Is it a local legend?
Not at all. It's an episode from our glorious past. Go read the story of the sailor's return to Darkwater Harbor. It's displayed on a wall of the stranded whale.
Who is Cat?
I found a threatening letter, signed by a certain cat.
What? I don't mind you visiting my harbor master's office, but I prefer if you didn't go through my affairs.
Are you being blackmailed?
Not exactly, no. That shyster wants to make us pay protection money.
With any success?
I wouldn't say that, but she terrifies my men as much as her own.
Can you not do anything to stop her?
Don't you worry about that.
Okay, so he does have a slight bit of concern about me going through his stuff. Ask him about Warehouse 36.
I'm looking for Warehouse 36. Do you know where it is?
Look, it's right there. The warehouse is opposite the jetty. You can't miss it.
Understood.
You know who the building belongs to, don't you?
Well, we have an investigation professional, you underestimate me, or an unlocked answer, it belonged to the Hawkins family. I don't know which would be.
It belonged to the Hawkins family.
Okay.
Precisely. Ship owners from father to son.
I think that somebody here wanted me to search this warehouse. I shall be on my way.
So come back and see me when you've got something new.
I will, sir. Oh, I gained a character point. Fantastic. Let us put that into spot hidden. Okay. Oh, I have 2. Now I'm half of the way there. Need 4 more. Okay. Roy Mitchell, age 55, occupation, owner of the Stranded Whale Bar. Roy Mitchell runs the only bar on Darkwater. Prohibition has no hold on the Stranded Whale, and sailors come to seek some comfort in Mitchell's whiskey. The man therefore knows, more than anyone, the secrets and rumors that the inhabitants of the island exchange after a few glasses. Mitchell is devoted to the golden age of whale hunting, if the numerous trophies that decorate his establishment are anything to go by. The man will talk freely on this subject on which he is so keen, but he will be far less enthusiastic if one was to inquire about the source of his liquor. James Fitzroy, age 45, occupation captain. James Fitzroy is the captain of the Charbidus, the only boat that still sails between Darkwater and Boston. His base is the harbor master's office, from where he misses nothing that happens on the island. The inhabitants of Darkwater respect him, the bootleggers despise him. He offered to help me in my investigation. The Stranded Whale, a bar where liquor is served with total impunity. It's the last thing I expected to find when I arrived on this island. The Stranded Whale is its name, and it's managed with an iron hand by the owner, a certain Mitchell. He does not tolerate troublemakers, and he fiercely protects the identity of his supplier. All the inhabitants of the area seem to go there, and I even saw what looks to be a truce between bootleggers and the sailors. If I had to take a guess, I'm putting my money on Kat being the woman in the bar, and that is the supplier of the booze. The miraculous catch is what the locals call the last catch of the whalers in 1847. Although whales were disappearing from the fishing zone of the Darkwater whalers, the crew of the Scylla made a gigantic and monstrous catch that saved the island from famine. They still celebrate this catch, and an article from the Times still decorates the bar. It's strange how the memory seems so alive, as if it was maintained by the survivors. Extracted from the notebook of Edward Pierce, private detective. Okay, we have... Oh, that was a clue. The miraculous catch was a clue. Fantastic. The threatening letter, we have the photograph, we have the manifests. And then we got the second volume of The Learning of Medicine. Okay. Let us walk across.
Back in the water, you shysters, you're crazy. They're cops. They can't understand. Damn stupid.
What could have done so much?
It's the same
Don't put that
thing.
beast back in the water, you shysters, you're crazy. They're cops.
They're slowly
They can't
getting it pulled in.
understand. Damn stupid idiots.
Hey. My foot is cut. Oh, I can talk to him.
You live here?
Why did you do that, huh?
Why did
We
I do
saw
what?
you did to St. Brendan. Yeah, we'll teach you to come onto our island and ridicule our protectors.
Who is St. Brendan?
I've never heard of this saint. Is it a local belief?
But everyone knows St. Brendan, the navigator.
He's the patron saint of whales and whalers.
What happened to the statue?
Go see for yourself. He's at the end of the jetty.
There's you, our beloved statue, and then those two bozos behind us. Wait, now that I think about it, it's got to be them. There's one of them who's always going back and forth to the statue.
Quieter. That's all we need for them to hear us.
What brings you to dark water?
About St. Brendan.
That statue represents your local saint.
What do you mean by local, exactly?
You wouldn't be looking down at us, like all townspeople do.
St. Brendan. He protected whalers and fishermen like us. Until those assholes defaced him.
Is this where you live?
Peculiar house.
Yeah, that's where we live. Our boat.
It's not because it doesn't float anymore that we're going to abandon it.
So you don't have any work?
Isn't it a bit early for alcohol?
We got nothing better to do anyway. There's not much work around here.
Fitzroy gives us a few chores every now and again, but since the whaling station shut down, ain't a lot of jobs left around here.
So we drink.
Who are these guys that are keeping guard?
The two guys behind you. What are they guarding?
The bootleggers. Scum.
They're protecting their territory. From whom, I wonder?
They really don't have a choice anyway. They're more scared of Cat than an attack by drunken sailors.
If only they would kill each other.
Who is Cat?
Is it Cat who's shaking down Captain Fitzroy?
Hold on just a minute. We didn't tell you a thing.
Nothing at all.
Okay.
I've taken enough of your time.
We'll see you later.
They were surprisingly informative. We have those gentlemen back there. Where is the statue they're talking about, though? Ah, there it is. How do we get there? Is this it? Yeah. I wonder if I can shut the head bob off. St. Brendan the Navigator, C484, C577. Uh-huh.
St. Brendan, patron saint of sailors and travelers. Desecrated. I can't even say which language it's written in.
That's... what? Okay. Yeah, I'm... It looks runic, but not runic. And I doubt there's anyone around here that would know runic anyways. Interesting. Hello, sir. Can't talk to you.
Something real bad.
Real bad.
Where do you think you're going?
I must get into this warehouse. What are the police doing here? Others are interested in the warehouse. Others are interested in the warehouse?
Who are these others so interested in the warehouse?
And why would I tell you?
We're on the same team.
You and I are on the same side of the law.
Oh, yeah?
You don't want to know the truth behind this case.
Are you saying our work was not up to snuff? Forget it.
What are the police doing here?
I thought that the Hawkins case had been closed.
That's true.
So what are you doing on guard duty in front of this warehouse?
Who's asking the questions here, the cop or the tourist?
What do you know about the Hawkins case?
What more can you say about the death of the Hawkins family?
Not much more than what everyone knows. I wasn't on the case. They were all burnt to death, right? Up at their place.
The whole mansion went up in flames.
Don't get it into your head to go wandering around up there. It's dangerous.
What do you mean by that?
The only one left there is old Silas, and the accident has affected him badly. He can be unpredictable, especially if a stranger starts poking around the property.
Is he a danger to the public?
No, he's in his own home. Do yourself a favor. Leave him well alone.
Okay. So this is the warehouse that I'm after. What are these two gentlemen doing back here? I do believe, before we go talk to them, I am going to go acquire some eye drops. I'll be right back. Okay. We resume game. We can go have a fine chat with these two strapping men.
No idea. You better keep it shut.
Why, we don't have a clear conscience.
Quiet. What's with you wandering around here like a hungry dog?
We saw you talking to the two soaks. Go die of thirst, the lot of you. It'll stink less.
All of these people are so friendly. Who does this belong to?
So, who are you?
Are you stupid or are you doing it on purpose?
Everybody knows us on Darkwater.
I've just arrived.
Let's just say we're standing guard for the owner of the site. And we let no one enter her property.
You work for Cat?
Cat. She's your boss.
What? You listen through keyholes?
She's the boss, yeah. She says who goes in or not.
Shut up, you dummy. You wanted to know that you also talk too much.
She must be quite intimidating if she can make two men like you tremble.
She redid the smile at the last one who wanted to get in.
I hope you had a good dentist.
No, you don't understand. She really cut him a new smile.
But he only smiles with the left cheek.
Is it you who defaced the statue?
I went to see the statue of St. Brendan.
What makes you think we did it?
We're bootleggers, not savages.
Who do you think defaced the statue?
What do I know? They could have done it by themselves.
The sailors.
Who else, in your opinion? And who's interested?
You really are scared of this cat.
She sounds frightening, your boss.
And she doesn't like to be talked about behind her back.
Okay. This passage leads to the Hawkins warehouse.
I've got to enter the Hawkins warehouse. I guess it's going to be complicated.
No, it's very simple, in fact. Fuck off.
I don't give a damn about your racket. I just want to get into this warehouse.
And we don't give a damn about you. Whatever your reason for wanting inside, there's nothing we can do for you.
All right.
I bid you gentlemen farewell.
Let's go talk to Cat. Since the cops and the bootleggers have no interest in being of any assistance. Ooh. Are these the two drunkards I talked to earlier?
We're no longer at home on our own island.
Oh, no.
Calm down. It's not worth the effort.
I told him, that flunky, that he'll see what a real sailor has in his belly.
If you continue like
Guts
that,
like everyone else.
everyone will see what you've got in your belly.
I hope so. I hope they don't forget the lesson. Me? I'm not scared of some girl.
I mean they're going to cut you open, you idiot. Calm down.
Okay. Oh, Cat, darling.
What? Another break?
One of those damn sailors came looking for trouble again.
But he won't try again anytime soon. We gave him a good hiding.
So you said to yourselves that after such a feat, you could abandon your post.
It's just a little drink. We taught those guys a lesson.
We'll return right after. It's just that standing guard in this alley makes your throat dry.
That fool Fitzroy can't keep his dogs on a leash.
I'll have to send him a more clear-cut message. I told you to beat it.
Okay. She's not going to speak to me. This is still locked. But I'm guessing the two men she was talking to that abandoned their post, perhaps I can get in from this side? Hello, sir.
You saw what happened with those sailors. Don't hang around here unless you want trouble with the bootleggers.
I didn't see what happened, but okay. What are the bootleggers doing around here?
This warehouse looks abandoned. Why does it interest them so much?
No doubt a question of territory, but I ain't asking. If you want to know more, go ask the captain.
Good. Thank you.
You're not scared of their boss?
I've seen the kind of messages their boss sends. You're not scared of her.
Of course I am. Everyone's scared of that woman. She's not interested in small fry like me. You, on the other hand, nose around too much, you'll have dealings with her.
I shall take my leave.
Okay. Find hidden items. The spot hidden skill allows you to detect hidden items in close range once all of them are found. Something. So I'm guessing the little pop-up there in the bottom is...
A whale vertebra. If the newspaper clipping in the bar is true, this bone is a real fossil.
Ratchet device. This part enables heavy loads to be lifted and held aloft without risk.
This ratchet device seems to be usable.
Lever. This lever activates a mechanism. Oh, hey, looky there. Behind it, it's more of the non-runic runic.
A handle. It must come from these old winches.
Okay.
It looks like there's a way in under this grate.
How do I get up there, though? And there's still... flashy. Oh. Was walking right past the ladder.
I could use this old winch to lift the grating.
Mount the ratchet device first, then the handle. Okay, so I'm still missing a piece. What am I missing? Seems to be the story of my streams here lately. What am I missing? Well, and I'm curious... if it's not high enough, so a piece won't show up? Does the patron... oh, St. Brendan. Does the patron saint of whales and whalers still protect the sailors of Darkwater? Visibly, there were other gods before St. Brendan, and their worshippers do not seem to be of this opinion. The locals still worship the old saint, but a mark was made on the statue by another cult. Extract from the notebook of Edward Pierce, private detective. It would be cool if it did like a hot or cold. Let me know if I'm getting close or not. Okay. What am I missing? I have a lighter. What is this, man? I feel like it's probably really obvious, especially being this early in the game. I would hope it would not sit there and flash if you don't have a high enough level to find what's nearby. Oh, there we go. Cogwheel.
It should be possible to mount this cogwheel on the winch.
Nice. Okay. Nope. Get on the ladder. Turn the handle. Hold to test strength.
Looks like everything is in its place. All I have to do is turn this handle.
Okay. Oh, you know, I forgot to look in the settings. Motion blur is shut off. Vertical sync is off. Field of view, frame rate limit, brightness. Subtitles, direction, and crosshair. Okay, never mind. I figured it was a long shot. This gas does not look healthy. Yep. Oh no. Okay. So it let me get out of it. Didn't blow up.
Smoke. It's coming from this oil. I hope it's not toxic.
Yeah, for real. Okay. We don't die over here. I want to pick up that lamp. Okay, there's nothing there. Huh. Won't let me pick that one up either. Oh. Oh my. What the? It's just smoke. No worries there.
This is primitive.
The fuck was that?
Ugh, this place stinks.
We got a character point. My sanity, mental trauma. Okay, I'm still stable. Yeah, we already looked at the nightmares. While investigating the Hawkins warehouse, Pierce entered a partly submerged tunnel that ran under the docks. There, something took hold of his arm and tried to drag him beneath the surface. Drowning, the detective caught glimpses of human and animal bodies as well as an underground city. Pierce managed to make it back to the surface to discover that rather than tentacles, it was seaweed that wrapped itself around his arm. The vision nevertheless disturbed him by its clarity and its violence.
What is the connection between this place and the Sarah Hawkins case?
Nothing of interest. Oh, we've got to jump. Reconstruction. To enter reconstruction scene, hold both.
What happened here? Someone treasures this crumpled picture to the point of sleeping with it. Is this one of Sarah Hawkins' paintings? It smells as bad as it looks. Who has enough money to buy painkillers, but stays in a place like this? Can't sleep. I know how that feels.
New clue memorized. Hawkins' warehouse. Okay. We got another point. Put that in. We have a new clue. Officially unused since Charles Hawkins' death, this warehouse recently housed a clandestine resident. Signs of life attest to that fact. The presence of blood-stained bandages must also be noted, probably removed from a wound, as well as pills, painkillers, and sleeping pills. Moreover, the occupant seems to be obsessed with Sarah Hawkins, as attested by the presence of several documents connected to the artist's life, photograph, press cutting. But it is the discovery of a partly charred painting recognized by Officer Bradley as having come from the Hawkins mansion that allows all doubts to be lifted as to the link between the contents of this building and the Hawkins case. Okay, Fitzroy advised me Port's Bar. I learned nothing from Fitzroy's documents, but I did get confirmation on what I'd been suspecting since Boston. The warehouse mentioned on the shipping label of Sarah Hawkins' painting belongs to Hawkins. It's on the docks. I must find a way to get into it. King of Bootlegger occupies the warehouse zone. Of course, they're standing between my trail and me. I've got to find a way to avoid them or else to get rid of them to continue my investigation. Okay. That's not creepy at all.
Someone has settled in here.
And whoever it is has something to tell me about the Hawkins case. Is there anyone in there? You! Don't move! Detective Pierce. I told you to stay away from this warehouse.
Let's team up. Far from being wound up. Strength/professional. I don't remember which is higher. My psychology. My strength.
You seem like a competent officer. We should help each other.
You're trying to manipulate me, Mr. Pierce. I hate to be taken for a fool.
All right, Inspector Lestrade. Let me take a more direct approach. Can you explain what this painting is doing here?
This strange portrait. Wait, I know it. It was in the Hawkins mansion when we came to investigate the fire.
So you confirm that it was removed from the crime scene? Interesting. I'd like to go and see the mansion now.
Of course. You want to go back along his trail? I'd like to understand how this painting made it to here. Come on. My car's parked down the way. Andrews, would you please shut the door? And open your eyes, damn it. This guy went right under your nose. God damn it. Her again. This case has nothing to do with you, Baker. Clear the passage or I'll shut you up for obstruction.
Officer Bradley, you've finally grown a pair. Too bad you're too fat to see them down there.
Why, you?
Come on, keep the smile. You don't want to force me to widen it.
Okay, I get it. Can we go to the mansion now?
Who the hell are you? What were you doing on my turf? I've got my eye on you. We'll meet again.
Is it far, this mansion?
Look behind you, at the top of the ridge. You see the building? That's the Hawkins mansion. Come on, we got some driving to do.
Chapter 3, Garden of the Hawkins Mansion. Piers managed to get into the warehouse. The place, thought to be abandoned, revealed some surprises. Signs of recent occupation as well as a partially charred painting. Interrupted in his searching by Officer Bradley, Pierce convinced him to join his investigation. The police officer is willing to drive the detective to the Hawkins mansion. So I'm guessing I succeeded in my test.
Well, here we are, Hawkins Mansion. The place has been abandoned since the fire. There's only old Winchester in his hut.
Okay, we've got all kinds of new stuff. I thought the mansion burned in a fire.
I see no scorched trees or fire damage on the building.
You're pretty damn observant, ain't you? The fire was quickly contained. Old Silas acted as soon as he could.
Not soon enough to save the Hawkins.
They were trapped in the drawing room. And don't go troubling Silas anymore. His guilt torments him enough as it is. Are we gonna take a closer look at this mansion, or do you have other questions?
You know the place very well.
You're the one who looked after the Hawkins case.
Don't think I was trying to hide it. It's just that this discovery shakes my convictions.
That's why you're so keen to find out who removed the painting from the mansion.
Yes. If something escaped us, or if there's been a law enforcement error, then it's up to the police to make good its mistake. Anything else?
You're not the first to talk about Winchester.
Your partner, Andrews, warned me against him.
You managed to get something out of that bum? I'll end up asking you for advice.
He talks too much. He inferred that old Silas was slightly unhinged.
That's not far off the mark, I suppose. But kinda unfair at the same time. You know, Silas Winchester has been working for the Hawkins family as far back as I can remember. Charles was like a son to him. The day of the fire, he lost his whole family, so he's got nowhere to go. And, as you'll see, in a way, he's still watching over them. Is there anything else you want to ask me? Or do you want to go up there?
This place is falling into ruin.
You won't get me to believe that it looked any better 3 months ago.
It's a very old building, you know? Its foundations would probably date from the arrival of the first settlers.
It's got nothing to do with Charles Hawkins' debts.
Ha! You've already begun to nose around it, would seem. So, since you already know it, the Hawkins family couldn't afford the upkeep of this house. It remains to be seen what they did with all their money. I wager it was Charles Hawkins' travels. Let's go up there. Unless you still have questions.
Anything I should be wary of?
I prefer to be prepared if there's going to be trouble.
It's a wise attitude. But apart from old Silas and some rotten floorboards, there's nothing to worry about.
Could he be a problem?
Strictly speaking, he ain't dangerous. But since the tragedy, he's been a little touched. Though, he's a remarkably sturdy man, given his age. A true force of nature.
A sad old man doesn't worry me.
Gee, if you don't want to listen to my advice, we might as well go. Right?
Let's not waste any time.
Night falls quickly here, and I want to be able to see when we arrive.
I'll go with you, if only to reassure Silas.
Yeah, okay.
Why not? You can help.
Right. Let's go.
Okay, 25th October 1924, Garden of Hawkins Manor. Officer Bradley drove us along the cliffs of Darkwater to the Hawkins mansion. The huge house, set on the edge of a steep summit, looks onto the lighthouse. The place seems to be abandoned for some time. Bradley told me about an old caretaker still living here. He shouldn't prevent us from getting to the mansion. Officer Bradley, age 37, occupation police officer. This hick cop likes order and justice. He's no great sleuth, but he seems more inclined than his colleagues to discover the truth in the Hawkins case. The inhabitants of the island seem to be friendly with him. He could help me in my investigation. Hawkins Mansion Gardens. The Hawkins Mansion is perched on top of a steep cliff. The abandoned garden harbors the graves of the Hawkins family, and only the old caretaker, Silas Winchester, still roams the bleak spot. He protects it fiercely and still puts flowers on the graves of his old masters. It's a gloomy place. Okay. We've got the mansion, we've got a right, we've got a left. We're apparently going left. A non-ominous statue. Hilltop house built in 1693 by Reverend John Wickwood.
Bradley was right. This place is much older than I imagined, but the architecture seems too recent.
Interesting. Why is there only one of them that all the flowers are gone and the vases are broken? Oh.
The flowers on Sarah Hawkins' grave are fresh. Poor kid. Charles Hawkins' grave. Who could have done this?
I told you. Silas Winchester is still watching over the Hawkins family.
I must say, it's pretty gloomy.
So, Detective, does this place inspire any thoughts?
Such a strange final resting place.
Why were they buried here?
I was given to believe that it was Charles Hawkins' wish.
Strange idea. I imagine Webster wasn't too pleased.
Mrs. Hawkins' father? It's said that he's devastated.
Let's go to the mansion.
Please give me a minute. I didn't expect to set foot back here after the burial. What kind of deranged individual would defile this sanctuary and steal a burnt painting? I don't see Silas doing such a thing. let alone allowing it. Even that broad baker is above that. Lord, have pity on this poor family.
You coming, sir? Alright. I'll let you have your moment. But I'm not sitting around for it. I laid me down and slept. I awaked, for the Lord sustained me. Psalm 3:5. Although I'm curious, I'm gonna have to go back around what's over there. Before we go into the manor. More rubble. A chair. Nothing of any. Oh. A small wooden whale, a figurine of a whale carved from wood. It's the sort of toy that sailors made for their children. New clue memorized. Fantastic. Nothing over here. Okay. Now let's go to the manor and see what it has in store. Is he still over there? Yep. Some help he is. Okay, over there, up there. Let's try up here first.
I'll have to find another entrance.
That's what I figured. More rusted patio furniture.
This entrance is still in use.
Whoa!
Whoa!
You were trying to force the door, you nosy prick!
Easy, sir, all right? Put down the axe.
You know what we do with rubble like you? We gut them. Dump them into the ocean.
Whoa! You're Mr. Winchester. Lower that axe. Let's talk calmly.
I'll show you how we have it out on Darkwater.
Okay. Oh no.
You haven't forgiven yourself. You stay here to honor the memory of the deceased.
That's true. I want no more violence. No more tragedy.
It's painful to be the last one left.
You don't know how right you are. Understood. I'm listening.
The police report describes a domestic accident. But Stephen Webster has several reasons to believe that this may not be the case.
Webster is as stubborn as an old mule. And I did tell him that we should let the dead rest in peace.
He wants to restore the reputation of his daughter. I just need to see where the fire started.
No, I can't let you in. The mansion isn't safe.
That's why you barricaded the entrance.
That's right.
And this door?
It's locked, and I make sure it stays that way.
Okay. You want to get rid of me, or you shouldn't really need this key.
No one lives in the mansion, and you don't take care of it anymore. If you have a good reason to be here, I'm listening.
There's vermin. I keep an eye out.
Vermin?
Yeah, that's it, vermin.
Right. This is what we're going to do. I go inside, and I promise that I'll hunt vermin. Okay with you?
I'm not sure.
If there's nothing else to fear, you can give me that key.
Right. Take the key and do what you have to do. Go on, then. Just to get rid of you.
Let's see what more I can learn from this mansion.
Okay. Charming fellow. Silas Winchester, age 64, occupation caretaker of the Hawkins property. The old caretaker of the Hawkins family, Silas Winchester, still watches over the family graveyard and the burned-out mansion. Devoted to Charles Hawkins, whom he all but raised, he also has great respect for the memory of Sarah Hawkins and their child Simon. His long months of solitude in the abandoned property have made him very distrustful. Silas still puts flowers on the graves of Charles, Sarah, and Simon. Okay. And we now have key to the tradesman's entrance. I've got a hold of the key that opens the door to the tradesman's entrance of the Hawkins mansion. I hope that it was worth the risk. Ooh, it's down here.
This gate is locked.
That gate is locked. Okay. Oh, we've got, I'm guessing this is where Silas lives. Aw. He has a spare axe and I can't take it? Can we get up here? Maybe? Maybe not? Doesn't look like it. Okay. There's a bottle of booze.
I know a thing or two about solitude myself. The poor wretch seems to spend the best part of his time isolated from the world.
Aw, why would he lock the door on me? I don't...
Bourbon. Empty, of course.
Game saved. Ooh. Oh. I'm so gonna get killed by Silas jacking with his stuff. Can I not open the window? Nope. Okay. Is there anything else over here? Nope. Okay. I'll do the good thing. Go in the mansion instead of snooping through all of Silas's stuff. Aha.
Yes. Shall we enter? Now that you've finished your fun and games with Silas, we can perhaps inspect the mansion.
You're right. Let's go.
You know, you were supposed to come with me to keep him from killing me?
Let's take a look inside.
I'm with you.
Chapter 3, Hawkins Mansion. Pierce and Officer Bradley explored the gardens of the Hawkins Mansion. The family lies in the graveyard of the property, guarded by Silas Winchester. The old caretaker, still faithful to his employers, keeps watch on the place armed with his axe. Pierce and Bradley manage to calm him down and finally get a hold of the key to the Hawkins Mansion. They enter the building looking for the scene of the fire. Except that Bradley did nothing to calm him down. I calmed him down.
Follow me. I know the place.
I'm so glad
Who
you
left
know
this
the
light
place.
on?
New objective. Did I get... Oh, I got 2 more points. Oh, look at that. Expert in spot hidden. Okay, so now that we're 4 or 5 there... my eloquence sucks. Investigation, strength are okay. I'm thinking maybe psychology. The case. Find the fire scene. Okay.
The Last Supper of the Hawkins. What does this tell me? What kind of meat is this? This place is for the head of the family, Charles Hawkins.
Come on, there's always something with the fireplace.
The boy was probably here. Smashed his plate on the floor. Sarah Hawkins' plate. Why did she leave it untouched? Something happened at this table. An argument?
Hey, Pierce. Daydreaming again?
Who
Working,
memorized the
officer.
Last Supper?
This dinner table tells us a lot about the Hawkins family life.
Well, we don't have all day. The scene of the fire is next door.
Oh, now we've got a storm rolling in. Wonderful.
Sarah Hawkins and little Simon. The perfect picture of the middle-class family.
Yet, what is that? It's like a squid kind of thing? Okay. No more medical journals. That's where the fire happened.
They seem happy, but Charles is already looking off into the future. His marriage just a stop along the way. Was Charles Hawkins some kind of explorer?
Photograph of Charles Hawkins. Charles Hawkins poses like an explorer in front of exotic ruins. It is common knowledge that he wasted away his fortune on expensive trips. What was he looking for?
Let's see if I can find something the cops missed.
The Last Supper. Since the fire in the Hawkins mansion, the dining room has remained intact. The settings allow the places occupied by the family members to be determined visibly. Etiquette was respected, even in private. Charles Hawkins sat at the head of the table with wife and son on either side. The knocked-over chair could be due to something that happened after the fire, or it could confirm the theory of a domestic argument. Clearly, the roast was untouched in certain plates. The meat mysteriously preserved since then seems to have been the subject of the dispute between the Hawkins couple. Oh. Oh we've got hidden stuff.
Did Sarah Hawkins lose one of her shoes? How?
Do I need to find all those before I look at the basic stuff?
Was Charles Hawkins a heavy drinker?
Okay.
The child's corpse left a trace. Where are the others? They had a fight. Why? If the painting I found on the docks really came from here, how come it didn't burn?
Yeah, especially seeing as how this should be oil paintings. And so it would have run off all over the place. Interesting.
Did it stop at the time of the fire? Did someone escape the fire? Blood. This lamp was thrown. This was no accident. This was a fight. Someone fell here. A desperate attempt to flee. And the boy.
So, Detective, what do you make of it?
It's official. The police botched this investigation. The clues don't match.
Much of this evidence simply contradicts the investigation's findings.
Really? Tell me about it.
Someone had too much to drink.
I found a bottle of whiskey. Empty.
Well, that must have been a loss for you.
No glass. I suspect one of them drank heavily to calm down. Charles, most probably.
That's pretty thin. Who says that bottle hadn't been there for a while?
The bodies were displaced.
I can tell where young Simon was, but not his parents. Where were their bodies found?
I can't help you on that one. Charles and Sarah's bodies had already been carried away when I got here.
Without your authorization? By whom?
Marshall, Andrews, Chief West. We never deal with cases like that, you know. So... well...
Someone escaped the fire.
It would seem at least one person fled the crime scene.
What'd you say?
That mark on the door. Someone's hand slid down there. The left side has no mark. The door was open and that someone left.
For God's sake. I mean, if it's Charles or Sarah, they wouldn't have left their son.
They would rather die in the flames as a family instead of calling for help? I don't buy it.
Oh, yeah?
The time of the fire doesn't match.
I was under the impression the fire started around midnight.
Yes, Silas banged on our door around 1 a.m. Poor devil ran so hard he was almost belching his lungs out.
This clock burned before 10 p.m.
That's impossible. What you imply? Silas never would have hurt the Hawkins family. Besides, Dr. Fuller confirmed the hour of death in his report. Your clock must have already have stopped.
You don't find that suspicious? Or who's this doctor?
Dr. Fuller?
A brilliant surgeon, and a friend of the family. I'm sure he took the matter to heart. So, excuse me if I value his opinion over yours.
So be it. Let's move on.
The fire wasn't just an
I
accident.
firmly believe this fire was more than just an accident.
What's your theory?
The couple had a fight.
I think the Hawkins couple got into a fight.
You sure of that?
There's only one way to be sure.
We got another point. Put it in psychology. We have a whole mess of clues. Partly burned shoe. It seems like it belonged to Sarah Hawkins. According to the police report, this lamp is the cause of the accidental fire that destroyed the mansion. However, bloodstains on the debris tell a very different story. The glass of this heavy clock is broken and the hands show 10 o'clock. It could give the time of the fire or have nothing to do with it. The scene of the fire, contradicting the police report, the Hawkins drawing room tells a totally different version of the fire that claimed the whole family, beginning with the presence of a handprint that throws up the possibility of a survivor. The bodies of Charles and Sarah Hawkins left no mark on the floor, nor to that matter in the drawing room, contrary to that of the child, still visible close to the fireplace. The same goes for the glass shards on the floor. A close inspection reveals the presence of blood on several of them. On the wall, the very clear mark left by the painting found in the Hawkins warehouse confirms that the Hawkins case could be much more than a domestic accident. And we need to investigate the manor. In the partly burned out drawing room, the fire has perhaps left a few clues that escaped the local cops. Even Officer Bradley was forced to admit it. This room tells a far different story to the police report. The presence of blood on the shards of the glass from the lamp, the mark of a hand left on the door by someone fleeing the fire. We are in a crime scene. I must continue searching the mansion to look for information on the life and death of the Hawkins family. Okay, so we have a different story to discover.
I just ask that you don't disturb anything. If Chief West found out about what we're doing, I'd be in serious trouble.
Would you? But I do believe that'll be it for today, and so we will pick up Friday with this again. I should be on tomorrow evening with Outer Worlds. From everything that I've seen, it should release, it should unlock at 4 p.m. my time. That's Mountain. And so I should be on then. So we'll have an extra stream this week. But yeah, I believe that's it. And so I will see everyone either tomorrow night or Friday. So don't forget, that which does not kill you gives you XP. Godspeed. God bless.